Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
And 15 PCA.
Native 454.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at C15 Podcast. So I read an article over on comicbook.com, and this is an article by Chase Magnet. And the title, without trying to laugh while reading it, Why Miss Marvel, the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel, is the most important Marvel creation of the 21st century.
Not?
Dumbest thing ever. Oh my goodness! But okay, I'm gonna read some of this article. I'll leave a link in the bottom so you guys can check it out. But Marvel Comics played an important role in popular culture during the 20th century. Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, you know those guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
And their cohorts and collaborators reinvented the superhero genre as we know it and played into a rising wave of interest amongst college students and young adults. They created characters that lasted through the end of that era and spin into television shows and movies. However, no one could have foreseen the cultural juggernaut that would have become after the year 2000. This was no longer a franchise in Hollywood today. There's no larger franchise in Hollywood today than Marvel Studios. And many of their characters have become even more popular symbols of movements and identification. No, they haven't, but okay. Marvel Comics continues to have an outsized impact on culture and society through its heroic characters. That's why it's no small assertion to state the following. Miss Marvel is the most important Marvel Comics creation of the 21st century. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
That's stupid.
If there was some way we can determine the popularity of a character, let's look at their comic book sales. Miss Marvel comics sell like the S word. They sell like crap. Yeah. Absolute garbage.
No. She should have said Miss Marvel's most popular character in Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
And then the coastal things, but they don't even buy her comics anyways.
Yeah.
Did you hear there's a Pakistani superhero? Did you read any of the issues? Oh, God, no. I don't read those dreadful things. They just like the idea that there's diversity, but they don't buy it.
Yeah, just remember, they just see the guy on the magazine, The New Yorker, with a little monocle, right? The top hat. What the hell is this?
The problem is, I don't hear any kids, I don't hear any teenagers like, oh man, that Kamala Khan is so cool, and nothing.
They put her in everything.
Yes.
This Kamala Khan Miss Marvel experiment has been going on for, I don't know, since 2013. No, it's not connecting.
Yeah.
It's like Squirrel Girl. It's not connecting. No one's buying into this.
No. I thought the best adaptation of Squirrel Girl I saw was that cartoon. Even then, she was annoying. That's the best. That's not even from that trailer I saw.
And I mean, they put her in everything. Every comic book, almost every kid's Lego, Marvel, everything.
Even though it still wouldn't be true, you'd have even a little better argument if you would have said DC and Harley Quinn. You'd have had a better argument than this. You'd had a better argument. This is stupid.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And this is a pretty long article. I'm
sure it gets. What you said, I'm pretty sure it goes downhill from there.
And then we get this. Remember that I think it was a cover where Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan Miss Marvel, because we all know who the real Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers Miss Marvel, the
one's gonna be on the movie.
Statuesque, beautiful woman.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Turned into a man, basically. Yeah. But we have Kamala Khan Miss Marvel. Remember that cover where she has like the American flag to the polls, ladies? How well did that work for Hillary Clinton? Apparently, it didn't work. And there's so many women in hijabs in this picture. It's like, okay, it's a little ridiculous. And she's like, let's do this. And none of this works. It's so patronizing.
It's stupid.
And they don't get it. They think, this is going to be what the people want. No one wants this.
See, that's what they want. Yeah, but just because you want it doesn't mean everyone's going to want it.
Yeah, what kid is going to want to read that? Or
no kid.
Yeah.
So, about three-fourths of the way down the article, they have a new title, Reflecting the Changing Face of America. One essential element of this new wave of Marvel heroes is diversity. They introduced it in the lineup at Marvel Comics. The great creators who invented the foundation of Marvel Comics were primarily white men, many of them from Jewish descent. They have reflected in those heroes for their time, and those heroes went on to inspire an entire generation of readers from all backgrounds. Yet, they lacked diversity within the line remained apparent, especially the demographic needs of the American continue to change in face of society.
I remember when Stan Lee did Spider-Man, there were black people in Spider-Man. And that was like in the 60s, so what the heck are they talking about?
They were
in the comics. There was Luke Cage. There were all those characters.
Blade, Luke Cage.
In the 70s.
And Power Man. I think that was, just stick with your real name. One of the few heroes where his real name is cooler than his
actual
Yeah, I said just say Luke Cage. Power Man is ridiculous.
Not to mention that America has always been evenly split between women. Miss Marvel represents a trend that makes the superheroes we love and celebrate demographic representation of those they protect and serve. That, if you honestly, we talked about this even in our She-Ra video. I got into some back and forth with the comments. Big mistake on my part. I don't ever engage in back and forth in YouTube comments because it never goes anywhere. What we say in the videos, we stand by it. And if we have a retraction or change our minds, we'll make a new video.
Yeah.
But I got into one argument like, oh, it best represents me. Growing up as a kid, I loved Captain America. Mm-hmm. I loved Iron Man. I loved Nightcrawler, Gambit. Storm was awesome. All these things. Cool. None of those characters look like me. None of those characters, oh, geez, if it was just me in a superhero mask, I could find someone to care about. You're pathetic if you can only like characters that look exactly like you.
Or think like you.
Yeah, I mean, if that were the case, if I wanted a character to look at me, I would have to have the Blob beast.
The Blob with the tan, that's all I got.
And a mustache, I'm just kidding.
That's all I could have, right?
But no, the problem is we need superheroes that are different from us because then we get different points of view.
In the end, we're all human.
Yes.
It's all about the human condition. Did you think Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were sitting there saying, oh, geez, we're going to know? They just wanted the best characters that fit the story.
Exactly.
It's so ridiculous. And I love it. I always have to say, Jack Kirby made Black Panther, so I know.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Definitely Black Panther. I always thought he was cool, but I was always an X-Men guy.
Yeah.
And the X-Men is the most diverse team there ever was.
Yes.
You had Native Americans, you had Hispanic, you had Russian guys. This is back in the 80s when there was actual Russian, was an actual enemy of the United States to the point to where we could have went to like nuclear war.
Yep.
And they had the forethought to put, hey, we're going to have this guy, come from there and be 100% descent Russian. He's going to be on the good guy team.
Yep.
You can't get any more diverse than the original X-Men team.
You can't.
So I don't know where they think that all of a sudden diversity started with all these new diverse characters.
And not only that, they talked about inequality in the X-Men way in the comics. They did it in such a beautiful way.
And they didn't shove it down your throat.
Yeah, and it was just a thing. Okay, a little side thing. It wasn't constantly beat over your head. It's ridiculous.
Man, even though we talk about it all the time, even in the cartoon, in the X-Men cartoon series. Man, that one episode where they go back in time and then those guys are talking to Storm and Logan like, yeah, get out of here. And they're like thinking they're mutants, but then they realize, oh, we're back in the 50s. They're talking about her skin color.
Like, how stupid.
Like, what the heck? And then he busts out his claws. Okay, man, we're done.
There's a huge pill of irony right here in this article. This is almost towards the bottom. That sort of representation is also part of what's boosting the entire genre of superhero comics today. In the wake of the 1990s, it was clear that the collector's market and aging long-term fan base could not support the incredible market gains made, which led to the collapse and putting many stores out of business and many people out of jobs. So now it's your turn to put people out of business?
Yeah.
50 stores closed last year.
Yeah.
50!
That's a lot.
And I posted on our C15 podcast over on Twitter. I was at Samurai Comics, or when I say local comic book shop, I mean it's 45-minute drive, but it's literally our closest one.
Yeah.
They had the lenticular covers that came out 10 months ago, stacks of them. Yeah. Marvel's making comics that don't sell. It wasn't because of the collector's market. Yes, I did play into it, but they're making comic books nobody wants to buy.
Nope.
That's what's shutting down stores.
What happened is people were buying multiple variant covers back then too because they were keeping them up. They thought they'd make money off of it. That's why it crashed.
See, but right here, and I requote the thing, boosting the entire genre of superheroes today. Boosting sales are lower than they've ever been. Yeah. What the hell is this person talking about?
Exactly.
Wouldn't this be a nice time to put a number in there? Oh, comic sales have raised 50%.
Well, if they did put numbers in, they'd probably be ones that they actually got, not ones they sold.
Yeah, that's another thing, too. Yeah. I will link to Chromicon. It's a great website if you want statistics. They cover ships. So when they say Miss Marvel shipped 5,000 issues, that doesn't mean they all sold.
Yeah.
Just like I said, those lenticular covers are like those, when you move them, it's like a hologram.
Special, yeah.
Super cool looking. There's stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of these things that are not sold.
We've seen them. We went there a couple times to Comics.
And that comic book shop owner is stuck with that.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of, I'm going to say, marketing phooey going on where Marvel will ship stores comics they never ordered.
Yeah.
Just so they can say, look how many more we shipped.
Yep.
That's a phantom.
Because that's going to get us sales. I mean, what is this? It's about making money. This isn't anything.
Exactly. If anything, it's weird is when the company says we have to say ship instead of sold. That's just weird to begin with. You know,
because it's all about an agenda. It's not about making money, which is stupid. I don't know how to stay around.
And then the final paragraph in this article: great superheroes present stories capable of inspiring all of us. The display of essential values in the mode of high drama, reminding us to treat every person well and fight for one another before ourselves. This is the essence of Miss Marvel. She's the best representation of a superhero genre in comics today, and undoubtedly the most important creation in Marvel Comics this century. That's bullcrap. Have you read a Miss Marvel comic? She ran an illegal, basically a gulag, because during Civil War they had that one guy could see into the future. Yeah. So she was pre-arresting people.
Yep. Yeah.
No trial. She had no authority to arrest, and she was throwing them in
she sounds like a leftist to me.
Yeah, but that's thinking about others before yourself, right?
Yeah. And let me think. Who was against ideas about punishing people before the crime? Oh yeah, Captain America, the best representation of what you should be.
And she did this because Miss Marvel deputized her to be a freaking Gestapo for her.
Yes.
So she goes, and she had a best friend who found out about this. He's like, "This is wrong." So he tried to go get some of his friends out. Doing some happenstance, he ends up getting maimed. I think he loses an arm or a leg or something. She never really feels bad about it. Never really says sorry. Wow. So now in the Miss Marvel comics, she's back, he's back, and then he kind of always liked her. But it's like, you freaking look what you did to me. And it's just, and Miss Marvel's Kamala Khan just has this. Her personality's just all over the place.
Yeah.
What about her is sometimes she's like a goofball fangirl. That's how they kind of made her out in the beginning. Yeah. Then slowly but surely, now she's just like this kind of weird, goes along with the flow, doesn't really have any real convictions about anything. And her power is to get big, and she always makes her hands big.
Yeah,
which is freaky.
Yeah, you think she would grow bigger? Like
she can't. She does sometimes.
Yeah,
but she just usually just makes her hands big. So she's like a crappy Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, but once people get big, Ant-Man does it right. Okay, that's not doing it right.
To treat every person well and fight for others before ourselves. She threw people in jail who committed no crime.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That whole thing about Civil War II, I believed Iron Man. I think Iron Man was right in that.
What was supposed to be the good guys were the bad guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell. This person never read a comic. No. They didn't read a comic. No, they just saw Pakistani virtue signal superhero. Oh, we got to show that Muslim superheroes are the best in the world.
Burqa, and I'm ready to go. That's it. You didn't even because you would have if you'd have read, you'd have known that. She
didn't bring up any actual storylines of anything she actually did. They just talked about it vaguely.
It's just the concept of her. That's it. That's good enough. Didn't Deadpool get made this century? That's what I'm saying. Deadpool by far.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't, again, I think we're having a little Deadpool overkill, but he's still a better character than this. This generic, doesn't do anything character.
And also because he actually has decent story with him. Why is Deadpool so crazy and stuff? Well, he's constantly in pain and constantly messed in the head, so he has to kind of cope with it by making jokes and being...
Yeah, they can never show this woman have foul disease.
Exactly.
Nothing. Everything she does is okay, even when you're running a illegal gulag to arrest people.
Exactly.
Apparently that's fine to this writer.
How nice would it be if that friend that liked her ends up becoming her villain, and now she feels bad that he's gone.
But she didn't feel remorse at all. Nothing.
No,
she's fine
exactly.
With it.
Not really. And it's just ridiculous. This person had a really silly name. Whoever wrote this article, I'm scamming back up to the top. You are a moron. Chase Magnet. You did not read any comic. You didn't read a single Miss Marvel comic because you would bring up specific storylines, like like I did. Yeah. And the fact that another funny thing in the latest issue, the guy that she maimed is trying to help her. He's like, I want to see how your powers work. So he's doing like he has her like in a hydro tank. He's like, okay, get really big, and I'm gonna do some tests on you. And she's like, are you done yet? This is taking forever. Like, can we go now? Like, and she's like being really short and crappy with them. You maimed this boy for life, and you're gonna just treat him like garbage. He's literally still trying to help you.
Yeah,
you're such a B-word. I freaking hate you.
And you're doing the right thing too.
Because that's how they're saying it's okay for women to be like that. Whatever. I gotta do my own thing.
And she's supposed to love the science, and when the science is being done, can't this be over with?
Imagine if this was Honey Badger.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness. That's a whole other can of worms.
I still think Honey Badger is the worst creation of the 21st century.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Let's go to the worst.
I don't know. Honey Badger isn't trying to push an agenda of any kind.
No, she's just annoying.
She's just a horrible character. Yeah. But yeah, Miss Marvel is the worst, one of the worst creations of the 21st century.
Oh, yeah.
If it was so great and everyone wanted it and it represented everybody and everyone can look to this character as a hero, the sales would show.
How come she's not being made in the movies too?
They've been saying, they're trying to push it and everything. We don't know. If Captain Marvel doesn't perform well, I guarantee you these other films never get made.
Nope.
They just have to go back to what works.
Yep. Exactly. What sells?
Yeah, what exactly sells, but it's definitely not Miss Marvel. I'll bring up the numbers and I'll leave links to her ships. Not sells, her ships, and those are terrible.
Yeah, guys, let's not pretend that this is a wonderful thing. Nothing about this character seems interesting to me.
No. Nothing at all. It's made for cosplayers. A lot of people out there, her costume is simple, so cosplayers can do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like this red with a blue.
It's the original Miss Marvel costume if it was made in the Middle East. So it's very modest and covered up and everything.
Yeah. Which
the Taliban improved version of her costume.
It's just like you said. It could have been an interesting character. It
could have been. Definitely.
But they just messed.
Why don't
they
talk about the horrors of her actually being in the Middle East and escaping that and coming here?
Yeah, like her family had to leave that area because the way there was no equal rights for women. There was no equal rights for any other religious freedoms. weren't there.
That would have been interesting.
Yes,
but no, we can't do that. No, that's America. That's bad.
Yeah,
okay, we get it.
Again, it's such a horrible place. They can't wait to be here.
Right.
But this article is just a sham. Yeah. And the person never read a single issue of Ms. Marvel and just, I did my virtual signal. And this has been out for a while and it's only had one comment. So that goes to show you how much people love this.
And this is going to see a pretty big blog. Blog. It's not a little
It's garbage tier, but it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching and be sure to like, sub, and share. Also, for the most up-to-date information about the podcast, follow us on Twitter at C15 Podcast.